Good morning guys and welcome to today's video. We are back at Yoshio Factory and it is Tuesday. I actually ended up taking the day off yesterday to spend some time with May and just relax after the just stupidly crazy, insane busy week it was last week. So it was really good to just spend some time with her and rest for the day. But as you know, we're at Yoshio Factory. Some cool cars here, especially this one. This one came from all the way at Aoba-Ku circuit and needs some body work done and repairs done to the front. It's a very old kind of car of one of Oka-chan's old customers. He was like a huge fan of Oka-chan and he wanted to build like his own version of a Yoshio Factory car. So the customer built this and then I think it exchanged hands like multiple times and then ended up in someone's hands who stores it up at Aoba-Ku and drifts it up there apparently. So anyways, that's that car. But let's show you what we got going on today. By the way, white wheels are already off my S15. But they may end up back on there for some shenanigans we're planning to maybe do at the end of this week. I don't know. But like I said, these were all on loan just for the Nismo Festival. Anyways, on to this. Skyline is up on, it's up on jack stands. We're going to be taking the turbo off today. Now, we're going to be changing the rear housing from the small one, the 0.57 that's on there, back to the 0.73 that I had. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that the reason why I changed from this housing, which is a small housing, it's a 0.73 to a 0.57, was because of how laggy this car felt. Now, we later on found out that the place that tuned my car and everything, they didn't know how to turn on VCT in the Link ECU, so we got that turned on. The car's been retuned, and now that the timing and everything's perfect where it needs to be with VCT and everything, we're finding now that we can't control boost with the 0.57 rear housing, and it's literally insane. Like literally this thing just wants to go up to like, you know, 30 psi without even batting an eyelid. So the boost creep is just ridiculous. So we're changing back to the 0.73, which has a much bigger internal wastegate port, and I'm also going to be porting this out today, making it nice and smooth so that there's no issues there. Also, you also would know that another thing we found with this was that the weld broke on the little like kind of sleeve that this thing sits in there. So Oka-chan's going to re-weld that in there for me today, make that stronger. Also, I already marked this out with some paint where I'm going to be porting this thing out, and I also made this a lot stronger here and not as much movement by just mushrooming out the pin there a whole bunch, as well as you can kind of see that. It's hard to see. Anyways, it's probably one of the longest intros on my channel, but I wanted to make sure I updated you guys on everything that's happening today. So without further ado, let's get the GoPro on. I've got a head mount and a chest mount now that one of you subscribers sent to me, I think from Egypt, which just blew my mind. Anyways, all of that aside, let's get to it. Time to give birth to this baby from the Skyline. Got one nut left. Okay, here we go, lads. Oh, washer fell off. There's one more here we need to get off to. This is pretty beautiful. Okay, turbo is off. Oh boy, she's leaking a bit. Oka-chan is now just welding that little sleeve for me, so we don't have any movement in that anymore, which gets the little wastegate flapper stuck on the housing. So time for a progress update. Obviously, turbo's off. We got the old rear housing off, new rear housing, Oka-chan welded up. I've just finished porting it, and look guys, you'll be proud of me. Safety glasses, boys. I didn't get any metal in my eye this time. Well, actually, a little bit of metal did get under the glasses into my eye, but I washed it out, didn't rub my eye, and it came out right away. So very lucky. So looking at these two housings, I want you guys to see the difference. Smaller one, larger one. There's a pretty big difference there. You can see that it's just much bigger. And if you were to look, it's hard to see. Let me get this flashlight working for y'all. All right. See the intake on that one and how small it is? And then if we move over to this one, you can see that that's got a much larger intake. You can also see that I've ported that out and polished her up and got it so it will flow in there much better. So hopefully that'll work, give me a bit better boost control on this larger housing as well. And the little flapper there is all welded up, ready to go. So, I'm gonna reattach that to the turbo. We're gonna bolt everything in. I'm not gonna probably time lapse me putting it all back together because I just wanna smash it out and get it done and start doing some test pulls and sorting everything out. Plus, I need to also wire in the fuel pressure sensor and the oil pressure sensor as well today. So I wanna get that done. So, let's get this done and give you guys an update once we've kind of got this thing bolted on, I guess. Right now, I've gotten the turbo all bolted on, all the water and oil lines done up. So we're pretty much ready to now finish just assembling everything else. I already got the elbow one as well, so that's all ready to roll. We just got to connect the exhaust up, put the wideband sensor in. But I'm actually really happy with how quickly I've been able to whip this out. It really does help being in a workshop as well, like not in my driveway and having to move my car and make sure it's in a position where my neighbors can still get in and out. So yeah, been smashing this thing out. Anyways, get back to it, get this thing finished. I'm probably about 30 minutes away from starting this thing. So an update, we got the coolant set up for bleeding, draining the old oil right now, waiting for the last of that to get into the pan. While we're waiting for that, I am going to get the fuel pressure and temp sensors wired in with all this stuff here that's just sitting here waiting to be wired in. So we'll do that now, and then we'll fill up new oil, start her up, make sure everything's all good, get her off jack stands, take her out for a test drive. I'm pumped, doing this in record time. All right, here we go. Sounds good to me. She's idling all right. There's that spoolie boy. Oh boy. Hell yeah. I need to also jump at the ECU and turn this on now so that we can see our fuel pressure. We'll do that later. Let this thing bleed out some bubbles. Look at that. All those bubbles coming out. And we'll let this thing get up to temp. And then we might be good to go. What on earth is that? Oh, Tokyo never ceases to surprise me. Man, my face looks so naked without anything here now. I got so used to it. Anyways, I am out taking the car for a test drive and the results are mind-blowing. Like actually, I mean, it kind of all makes sense in theory, what are the results that I'm seeing, but let's just talk about it. Now, I can't do a pull for you, but I can show you the data from the log that I took. And the reason why I can't do any pulls is obviously we're stuck in traffic, but two, AFRs are not ideal because of the new extra flow we're getting. So we're gonna need Darren to touch that up for sure. So I'm just gonna chill and not hit too much boost on the way home and monitor my AFRs and make sure we're not going into lean territory again. But this thing is flowing so much more and boosting so much faster, it's insane. Literally 800 RPM faster than the smaller housing. And you might be wondering, hang on, that kind of goes against, like, you know, smaller housing, faster spool, right? Well, yes, but also no. Since, you know, the whole reason why we went to the smaller housing was because previously with this housing, the 0.73 that I have on back on here now, we weren't seeing full boost to 4,500 RPM, and it felt so laggy, this car. Now, obviously in hindsight, we now know it was because the tuner never enabled VCT and a bunch of stuff, but that aside, we changed the smaller housing. Yes, we did gain a little bit more response, but we still didn't really have the results we wanted. We still weren't reaching full boost until around like 4,400 RPM. Like, it only made 100 RPM difference. Plus, we lost a bunch of power in the top range. About 60 horsepower. So, you know, obviously after that we worked out VCT wasn't enabled, we got that enabled, you know, got some changes in the ECU done by Darren, and we're getting a whole bunch of boost control issues and stuff like that. Yes, the car is spooling faster because VCT's on. We're down to about, you know, 3,800 RPM now, and full boost kicks in around then. But this is ridiculous. Right now, this thing is getting full boost at 2,900 RPM or 3,000 RPM. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We've got full boost control as well. It's not creeping or spiking anywhere like it did with the smaller housing. It's ridiculous. So I guess now that we have the bigger housing, the exhaust is able to flow through it so much more. And I guess like we're just, you know what I'm trying to say. But the results are actually awesome. I'm gonna show you the log once I get home. But for now, just waiting to get through this traffic from all the roadworks. Can't even speak. Let's get home. You guys are gonna crack up, but I'm actually at Daikoku, PA now. Anyways, there's a really cool like kind of meet happening with all these old school cars, which we'll look at in a second. But this is cracking me up. The Snap-on truck is literally here serving customers. He's thirsty for that extra cash on a Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night and there's a turnout. I'm still cracking up about the Snap-on truck. Oh man, that's funny. Anyways, S30, Fairlady Z. It's a whole bunch of Sunnies, little Utes. There's a Ken Mary all the way up here. So cool. Oh man. Couple really old Bluebirds here. Porsche. I feel like I should know that. Is that an old Cedric? I'll check the rear, but I think it's a Cedric. Ken Mary. Beautiful. This thing is so clean. Oh man. No, it's not a Cedric. It's a Toyota Corona. There you guys go. Learn something new every day. And then over here, there's some Evos. Evo 2, I think. Or it could be a 3. I always get the 2 and the 3s mixed up. Nah, I'm pretty sure this is a 2. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong again, guys. Probably wrong. Evo 2, I think. And I'm definitely going to get these two wrong. 7s? 7s, I think? 7s? So still chilling at Daikoku, and some really cool cars just rocked up. For instance, this old Z. Now, it's a 200 ZR. He swapped an RB25 into this. It has the old GTSR exhaust manifold with an upgraded turbo as well. A HKS GTS, he said, I think. Very, very cool. Forward-facing Greddy plenum. He's done a bunch of custom modifications and stuff with piping there to get it to work with the radiator and stuff. So the thing feels great. It sounds great too. This thing is actually sounds really nice. And that's all because of this exhaust manifold. If you guys know about this exhaust manifold, you know the sounds that it makes your RV make is just heavenly. May not be the world's best flowing manifold in the world because it's not like equal headers, but it sounds incredible. Anyways, that aside, super clean Z31. Very, very cool. Absolutely love it. 200 ZR. Can you see it? Can you see it? There it is. Oh, I love the light up Kenwoods in the back too. That's really cool. Oh man, I love this thing. See, now I just got to add another car to the list of cars I want. I really do have a problem. I really do. It is now the next morning. I literally got out of bed, edited this video, and I realized I never did an outro yesterday. My bed hair is terrible because I literally showered and went to bed with wet hair last night, but it is what it is. Anyways, I am mind blown with the results of the car. Obviously, it kind of does make sense though, with the theory behind it and everything, you know, that previously was the issue, and then turned out we fixed all that, and now we got the same housing back on there, and it's even more responsive than ever. So I'm really pumped to see what the results are going to be like, and get some figures and stuff once we get everything, like, you know, sorted out with the tune and stuff. It's going to be awesome. And I also just found out literally this morning, Oka-chan messaged me, Drift Kingdom moved the drift event from this Sunday to next Sunday now, so I have another whole week to get the tune dialed in, which I am so happy about because I was getting pretty nervous. Anyways, with all that aside, guys, oh, also, just editing this, I realized that what I said was an Evo 2. It even says on the number plate 3, so it was like right in front of me that it was actually an Evo 3. I really need to work on some of my car models and figuring out like all the telltales, but it's so hard for me to like invest time in learning those things unless I own the car, you know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, like you don't really kind of know all the finer details and how to tell models apart until you actually own it and you have a reason to be, you know, researching and actually interested into that type of car. Anyways, with that all aside, spontaneous visits to Daikoku are always the best because it doesn't matter when you go there or how often you go there, you always see something different. And I think that's what's awesome about the Japanese car culture here. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Tell me in the comment section if you're pumped for Skyline actually ripping properly like it should be without any lag anymore. Because I'm kind of nervous about what this thing's going to feel like because it hasn't felt like that in the last 3 years. So, I'm pumped. Peace out. Jamata.